If you're paying rent in America right now, you are funding someone else's retirement. And the craziest part, you probably think you can't afford to stop. What if I told you $30,000 is enough to escape that cycle even today? Here's exactly how it works. Imagine this. You've been renting for years, paying hundreds, maybe thousands every month, and it feels like your money just disappears. Most people think buying a property is impossible without hundreds of thousands saved. Here's the thing. With just $30,000, you could unlock your first investment property, start building real wealth, and finally stop working just for rent checks. And the crazy part? Most people have no idea this is possible. Why do most people never try? Fear. Fear of debt. Fear of making a mistake. Fear of losing money. Most of that fear totally psychological. A 2022 survey by the National Association of Realtors found over 60% of Americans aged 25 to 40 feel they will never own an investment property because they don't have enough savings. That's huge and honestly frustrating. Here's what most people don't realize. It's not the amount you have, it's how you use it. Then there's the 20% down myth. People hear 20% down and think they need 100,000, 200,000 or more. But here's the truth. With modern financing options and local markets, you can start much lower. And here's the real trap: procrastination. Waiting for the perfect time costs you. Inflation, rising rents, missed investment growth, all of it adds up. In most U.S. cities, rent climbs about 5% every single year. That means you're not just paying for a roof, you're literally buying a house for someone else while your own wealth stays at zero. Now let's break it down. Imagine you've saved $30,000. Many U.S. markets allow 10 to 15% down using conventional or FHA loans. Say you find a $200,000 property. With 15% down, that's $30,000 exactly. Boom, you're in. The remaining $170,000 is financed with a mortgage at today's rates over 30 years. Your monthly payment? Around $900 to $1,000. Now rent the property for $1,200 per month. After mortgage, taxes, and insurance, you're already positive cash flow. Over time, the property appreciates about 3% per year. In 10 years, that $200,000 home could be worth $270,000. Meanwhile, tenants are paying down your mortgage, so your equity grows faster than if you just saved in a bank. Here's the really interesting part. Once your first property is set up, you can refinance or use its equity to fund a second property. $30,000 today can snowball into multiple properties and exponential wealth. Now, you might be thinking, what if the market crashes? What if tenants don't pay rent? I don't know anything about property management. Look, every investment carries risk, but staying in rent forever, that's a guaranteed loss. Inflation slowly erodes your savings, and missed investment growth is opportunity cost. Historical data shows U.S. property values double roughly every 15 to 20 years, even after recessions. Tenant risk? Property management companies exist, and proper screening drastically reduces it. Inexperience? Start small. Learn from one property. Most real estate millionaires started with just one property. Fear is your biggest cost, not the investment itself. So, how do you go from $30,000 saved to owning your first property? Automate your savings. Even $500 a month adds up in 5 years. Research local markets for cash flow positive properties, single-family homes, or small condos. Get pre-approved for financing so you know exactly how much you can borrow. Run the numbers: mortgage, taxes, insurance, expected rent. Make sure it pays for itself. Make an offer and close. Don't wait for perfection. Your first property will teach you more than any book or video ever could. Then manage, learn, and repeat. Track cash flow, manage tenants, and prepare for your next property. This is how small savings snowball into real wealth. Here's what most people don't realize. Buying your first property is as much about mindset as math. It forces discipline. Saving $30,000 is huge for most people. It teaches patience, the first mortgage, the first tenants, the first repairs, and it builds builds confidence. Seeing cash flow in action makes you believe in your ability to create wealth. Most people wait for perfect timing. By then, they're decades behind. Your first property is your leverage point. Here's the part that blows most people's minds. Over 90% of self-made real estate millionaires started with just one property. Your $30,000 can generate $150,000 plus in equity in 10 to 15 years, factoring appreciation and mortgage payoff. And psychologically, owning property changes the way you think about money. You start thinking in assets, not liabilities. It's not hype. It's math, psychology, and strategy all rolled into one. Bottom line, $30,000 isn't just a number. It's a doorway to financial freedom, wealth, and taking control of your life. Start small, follow the numbers, manage risk, take action. Your first property isn't about getting rich overnight. It's about momentum. Momentum that compounds into multiple properties, cash flow, and true financial freedom. If this helped you, subscribe, hit the thumbs up, and comment. What's your first step going to be? Let's make it happen.